Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Colette. And I got to see this film last weekend, and it's about a woman played by Keira Knightley, who's a famous French writer who, for most of her life, most people thought that the works that she did were her husband's, because she was writing under his name and doing most of the work for him, and her husband is played by Dominic West. And this film sets up throughout the years of their relationship and her becoming a writer and her growing into her own person. And this is directed by Westmoreland. And overall, I feel like this film is really well put together, and the story is told very well as it pulls back the layers of all these different kinds of events that go through Keira Knightley's character Colette's life, and seeing how she shapes herself into this woman that she's always been underneath, but finally taking charge and really taking over her own life and what she does as an artist, and being with who she wants to be as she experiments in different kinds of relationships. And in terms of the pacing of this film, I feel like it might lag a little bit. It took a little bit for me to get super interested towards the beginning, but once it started kicking into gear, I felt like this film really became engaging and kept you connected to the story and trying to figure out where Colette was going with her life and her story. And there's some pretty emotional moments where the actors in this film really sell it, and Westmoreland does a really good job of portraying these kinds of emotions. And this was written by Westmoreland and two other writers, Richard Glatzer and Rebecca Lenkowitz. And overall, I think Colette's a very interesting character. She's very well fleshed out, and you get to see all these different kinds of aspects of her and her life and her story. And her husband, who on some level is very, he's not a great guy. It's kind of a sleazeball, but he does have a layer of charisma that makes you believe that it's on some level he really does care, but he's also very immature, and you can tell that he's very childish in the sense that it's at one moment he's really trying to hold on to what he has, and when he doesn't get his way, he becomes defensive and aggressive and lashes out. And these characters really carry this film as they're the two main characters. In terms of everybody else, you really don't get a whole lot of depth to a whole lot of the other characters in this film along the way, whether it is somebody who has a bigger role, including the woman that Colette winds up engaging in a relationship with and building these feelings and this relationship and this partnership with, while trying to balance this relationship with her husband. And the twists and turns as you go through the story, it's fleshed out in a nice way, and there's some very impactful moments. And overall, I feel like this film works pretty well on a lot of different levels. The Jills Nutkins, who does the cinematography for this is a very well shot film. It looks very beautiful, and I feel like this film really is elevated by the technical expertise that goes into it. And Thomas Adays, who is the composer of this film, who created the music works as well. Overall, I think this is a really well done period piece. On some level, there's certain parts where it really does stand out among period pieces, where it takes on some potentially touchy subjects and goes into some interesting ways. And on sometimes it does feel like what you would expect from a period piece. But overall, I think Colette would be worth your time to go check out. If you can find it in a theater near you, I did catch it in an AMC, so it is expanding. Might want to check it out soon before it starts leaving theaters. If you're not really into the whole period piece, Keira Knightley's a big star of period pieces. She pops up in a lot of them. That's not really your thing, you're probably not going to like this. But overall, I think this is a very interesting film, very interesting character study, and portrays a very tumultuous yet intriguing relationship between this husband and wife, and paints this woman in a very fascinating way. So highly recommend Colette if you are a big fan of film. Don't miss it. And thank you as always for supporting your Wasteland reviewer.